Connor.
What?
Gotta do your things.
Oh yeah. Hi everybody. It's another episode of Pull This for the week of August 15th, 2018. I was just slightly distracted by the incredible Spider-Man trailer for the PS4 out in a couple weeks. I'm only slightly excited. But let's get to the comic books themselves and take a look at the top 5 releases for the week. Coming in at number 5 this week, we have The Wildstorm number 16, written by Warren Ellis and drawn by John Davis Hunt. Y'all know this by now. If The Wildstorm's coming out, I'm definitely going to talk about it in these weekly videos. It doesn't matter if we're calling it 5 and 5 or Pull This. If The Wildstorm is hitting shelves, I'm going to talk about it. It's my favorite series going on right now. It's absolutely incredible. It's probably DC's best book. Look, I didn't even write notes for this segment of the show because there's nothing more I can say about The Wildstorm that I haven't said before. It's an incredible story. It's rich with conspiracy-laden theories of corporate espionage and all-out warfare. It's incredibly well drawn. I mean, Jesus Christ, it's like reading a John Wick movie panel by panel as you read. It's absolutely incredible. And it's just an amazing story that every time it comes out, you're just waiting with bated breath for the next issue. It's absolutely incredible. No disrespect to Mr. Miracle or Batman or Red Hood or any of the other fantastic books from DC right now. But I think The Wildstorm is the best one they got going. Don't be a jabroni. Pick up this goddamn book. Coming in at number 4 this week, we've got Crowded number 1, written by Christopher Sabella and drawn by Rose Stein and Ted Brandt. Crowded is one of those books that you have undoubtedly seen an advertisement for in the back of any Image comic book that you've picked up in the last 3 months. It seems pretty sweet, but I honestly didn't know that much about it, but in the past couple weeks, it's been hyped up like crazy from creators and fans alike, so I had to talk about it this week. Crowded takes place in the not-so-distant future where the toxicity of internet culture has become downright deadly with the introduction of the app Reaper, which basically allows anybody on the internet to start a crowdfunding campaign to assassinate anybody they choose. So think of it like these campaigns that took James Gunn down, except instead of it being a campaign led by alt-right freak Nazis to ruin a beloved science fiction franchise, instead it would be a crowdfunded plan to murder James Gunn. So imagine that, but in a comic book setting. Luckily, there's also the app called Defend, because it's an app and you can't have too many vowels in it. The app Defend is essentially just Uber, but for bodyguards. So that's neat, right? Anyway, Crowded is about what happens when internet toxicity and the toxic culture of social media reaches new heights and starts to become deadly. It's kind of scary. Social media right now is pretty awful. It's not a fun place to be. I love Twitter, but it's not good. A lot of people get upset. A lot of people are angry often. So Crowded takes a look at social media and internet culture and looks at it for its worst qualities rather than looking at it for its best. But let's be honest, we kind of need that right now. Crowded number 1 puts the toxic nature of social media under the microscope and examines just how far it can go. Our own Nathaniel Meir gave it an 8 out of 10, said it delivers a very strong message and it showcases a frightening future for social media. Me personally, I don't really like social media that much, so I'm kind of excited to read a book that doesn't exactly cast it in the best light. So definitely pick it up this week. And at number 3 this week, we've got Crude number 5, written by Steve Orlando and drawn by Gary Brown. Crude is one of those comics that has definitely been flying under just about everybody's radar this year, but that ends today, because you know what? It's absolutely fucking incredible. I love this series. I look forward to it every month. I'm sick of people not talking about it. I feel like we need to talk about this book more, so we're talking about it this week because it simply kicks ass. Crude is a blood and vodka-soaked revenge story with elements of a socio-political crime thriller and a little bit of spy thriller elements about what one retired hitman will do to avenge the death of his son in a Russian work site super city. It's honestly so incredible. It's super gritty, very violent, doesn't really relent on just how dark it is. I love this book so much. It's led by a hell of a creative team too, with Steve Orlando, most famous for writing Supergirl and Justice League of America, and being one of the co-creators of Justice League's Milk Wars, which was weird in all the best ways. Plus, the art's done by Gary Brown, who did Black Road and does Baby Teeth with Donny Cates. Plus, you've got colors from Lee Lowridge. I mean, they all work together to create this amazingly dark tone, to keep the story really gritty and really violent, to never let you forget what is really happening. It just tells this incredible story. It's one of those comics that really showcases why the comic book medium works and why it's so much more unique than film or regular prose narratives. It's such an incredible book. It's an exercise in why comics are wonderful. You gotta read it. I love it. You know what? While you're at it, pick up the first 5, pick up the first 4, read all 4 of them, read number 5. It's incredible. It's my stamp of the week, I tell you. Coming in at number 2 this week, we've got Extermination number 1, written by Ed Brisson and drawn by Pepe Larraz. Now I have but one question for Extermination number 1. Does it still count as a Marvel event if it's an X-Men event that runs concurrently with 2 other much more highly publicized events that have kind of stolen all the coverage and all the hype? Maybe? I guess, sorta, yeah? I don't know. I don't have the answer. All I know is word on the street is that Extermination number 1 is absolutely wonderful. Our own Chris Sasson gave the book a 9.5 out of 10, saying that Extermination never looked so good, and Brisson and Larraz are bringing their A-game to this new X-Men epic. Honestly, Chris Sasson has never steered me wrong. I don't think he's ever steered any of us wrong, so if he's given a book a 9.5 out of 10, I'm going to trust him and pick up this book because it's probably going to be incredible. Extermination has been subtly teased in different X-Men books for months now, and the veil is finally lifted this Wednesday with Extermination number 1. I won't spoil anything, I won't give anything away, but let's just say the time-displaced X-Men are in trouble. Look, it's an X-Men event, so you expect huge deaths, huge plot twists, probably some time travel. Maybe the Phoenix appears at some point. I'm gonna bet that the Phoenix does appear at some point in some sort of flashback sequence with young Jean Grey. Either way, it's an X-Men event, so you know it's also gonna shake the very foundation of the X-Men moving forward. I'm super excited. If Chris Sasson's gonna give something a 9.5 out of 10, I'm gonna trust him and I'm gonna pick it up, and I bet it's gonna kick ass. You should trust him too. Pick it up. And our number 1 choice for the week is Infinity Wars number 2, written by Jerry Dugan and drawn by Mike Deodato. Alright, first things first. Did y'all read Infinity Wars Prelude and Infinity Wars number 1? Holy shit! Jerry Dugan, what are you doing, man? It has been insanity. It's crazy. It has... You know me, I like to make fun of these Marvel events. I like to poke fun at the fact that Marvel does these events all the time, but Jesus Christ, I can't even get upset about this. Infinity Wars is off to a tremendous start. I won't dive into any specifics, I won't spoil anything for anyone who hasn't read Infinity Wars Prime or number 1, but I will say this. Jerry Dugan is doing his best George R.R. Martin impression, and he's just brutally murdering everyone you love in front of you. Do not go into this book thinking, it'll just be another event and nothing will really happen. I mean, it's comic books, so of course none of these deaths are going to stick. They'll eventually come back, but holy shit. A lot of people die. A lot of big people die. I'll tell you what. I won't say who, but holy hell, I'm shook. On top of the killer story, pun intended, Mike Deodato is doing an incredible job with the art. He's creating splash pages that have this wonderful blend of absolute realism with cosmic comic surrealism that make truly captivating pages. There's one page in particular earlier in the series that is just a close-up of Gamora's face, and it's amazing. Expect more of that in Infinity Wars number 2. Expect more narrative twists. I am so excited. I love the fact that Marvel's doing an event and it's killer. Even though I loved Secret Empire, I was kind of one of those people who was like, maybe cool on the events, but if the events are going to be like this, fuck it, do as many as you want. Look, I get it, this may look like some sort of cheap ploy to capitalize on the success of Avengers Infinity War, and who knows, maybe it is. But when the story is this good, and you got such a good creative team behind it, and it's a genuinely shocking event, who the fuck cares? I'm loving it so far, I can't wait to see where it goes. You gotta pick up Infinity Wars number 2 this week. Alright, and that wraps things up for Pull This for the week of August 15th, 2018. As always, subscribe, like, share, tag the creators on Twitter. Let me know what you think. Let me know if I did good, if I did bad. Maybe you hate the books I pick and you're like, you know what, we should impeach Connor. I don't know. Please don't. I like doing these, but, you know, everyone has their opinion, I guess. Until then, I'll see you guys next week.